I was first aware of the Physics Center early on. Sally and I used to play tennis together, and Sally Smythe and I used to play tennis together and had kids together. And so I always was curious about it.
Don't look at Randy.
And Sally, and sort of Sally and I talked about Sally Smythe of her working here, and Sally Mensimer and I would play bridge together. We would play tennis together. We won a doubles tournament, and so I was aware that she was getting ready to retire, and I had been at the skiing company for almost 20 years, doing general liability claims. So I was ready for a change. And it was just amazing to come from the world of jocks to the world of brains. And I was so thrilled when every time I asked them to do something, all of you just did it. I mean, quickly and nicely and brilliantly. So I was instantly just enthralled. And but it was a big change, obviously. I knew nothing about physics. And Pierre came on as president when I started as full-time. And so he had me to deal with. He had the new building, which was still under construction. This is the winter of '96. And that first summer, neither of my kids were home that summer. So I was here from 6 in the morning till 8 at night. But it was great because I did everything and understood the whole breadth of the job. So, but I needed help from Randy and everybody, and Pat Carey was great when, she clued me in warning who was coming to, now. So it was great, and it's been terrific ever since. I've really loved it all. I feel lucky to be here. It's a thin staff. We have 3 full-time people in the summer, plus 2 people with half-time. So basically, a total of 4 full-time people in the summer. And then the rest of the year, it's just 2 full-time, Paula Johnson and myself. So it's a pretty thin group that gets a lot done. And then we have help from physics kids who come back and return for a few years and work for us, and then go off to do other adventures. And we currently have 3 young men aging from 6 to 18 who are physics kids, and it's nice to have these strong, tall bodies to help us, because the rest of the staff right now is all women. So the general lay of the land for my position is overseeing a staff of, right now, it's Paula Johnson and I are full-time year-round, and she is our financial manager, and is fantastic. And then in the summer, we have Patty Fox, who just started this year, and but she's jumped in both feet and just terrific. And then Kelly Thompson and Pat Carey split one other shift. Pat works Monday, Tuesday, and she has been with the Physics Center for ages. I mean, at least 20 years, if not 40. And Kelly has been here several years, at least 5, I think. And so Kelly works Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Pat works Monday, Tuesday. And so it's a skinny little staff, but we get a lot done. And we serve the needs of usually between 86 and 90 physicists a week. We have a total of about 500 who come for the course of the summer. And the attitude is that we do everything we can do for them so they can just do their physics, because their physics is, wonderful and a big impact. And so we can put the chalk out and, tell them where to get their lunch and do all those mundane things. And we also get housing. Our housing budget right now is about $500,000, which is reimbursed, but we rent it long term. It's getting harder and harder because the inventory is either being purchased and taken off the market, used privately, or it's being purchased and remodeled so that it's out of our price range. But so far, we have still been able to obtain reasonably priced housing. We rent it for 13 weeks, so it's a solid income for these renters instead of getting peak rates for a few weeks of the summer and no guarantees on how many weeks of that they'll receive. So it's a challenge, and also the different needs of everybody's needs and desires, shall we say, of housing. But it's a lot of generous people in the community have rented to us for years at below market prices, which helps immeasurably. And then we have a grant from the National Science Foundation, which provides for housing reimbursement based on rank. And right now, postdocs get 80% of their housing costs reimbursed, and tenured senior people with summer salaries get 10%. So it's based on need rather than status. Bill Mensimer was a hard person to replace. We just, in the last few years, have a handyman, and Patrick Herwick. Okay, we can retake this, right? Patrick Herwick is his name, and he has done, I don't know how we got along without him for so long, because we've used him for bridges and roofs and everything. But he's our current handyman as a contract, employee. And we also have a bike specialist who comes in and gets our bikes up and running in the summer, and then comes in once a week to do regular maintenance on them. And we have a fleet of about 90 mountain bikes, and they are given to the participants and their families to use while they're here, in the hopes and the actuality of reducing automobile traffic. And the physicists often go and get their bicycle before they go to see where their desk is. So it's great to see all the bikes lined up in front of Stranahan, and the the physicists whizzing around town on their bicycles, and it's just, they love it. I think it takes them back to their childhood. I don't know, a lot of them have not been on bikes for many years, and others are used to biking and ship their bikes out here. We usually have, probably 5 personal bikes that are shipped out every summer of physicists. The Physics Center in the last few years has had several off-season use conferences, and they have helped our income very nicely. Basically, it's for use of our facilities by nonprofit science groups. And this fall we have 2 scheduled, one the end of September, one the beginning of October, both of which Sid Meshkoff has brought to us, which he's done for several years. And then in December, January, well, actually starting in January, we will have 5 winter conferences this year. We usually have 4 to 6. The last few years it's been 5 or 6. And they're 1-week conferences based on specialized fields. Whereas in the summer we might have astrophysicists and particle physicists and condensed matter physicists all here at the same time. In the winter, we will have 1 week just with biophysics and 1 week just with astrophysics and that sort of thing. So we prepare for those, and also just do general housekeeping. It's 3 buildings on a 4 to 5 acre site, and so there's always maintenance and insurance and just general care to be given to that. And then basic housekeeping things to get caught up, because summer and when the conferences are going on, we're basically dealing day to day, if not moment to moment. So, our campus is comprised of 3 buildings plus an outdoor patio for talks. We actually have 3 meeting areas for the talks, Fluke Forum, which seats 90, and this room that we're filming in, which is the beta seminar room, and then a patio, an outdoor patio, all heavily equipped with blackboards, and the computer projector has entered into the presentations. It used to only be blackboards and overheads. And so in addition to the 3 buildings with offices, 43 offices, we have substantial acreage, and ditches everywhere, which every Tuesday night we have a picnic, and the kids are floating things down the ditches and making dams, and the parents can all get to know each other. Sometimes through their kids they get acquainted, and sometimes through their office mate, because it's all randomly assigned. And and the weather usually cooperates, and if it rains, we have it anyway, and they all squeeze together and get very well acquainted. So the ditches every spring are full of leaves and debris. And we use the ditch water for our irrigation. So the meadows and the music associates and us, along with a few neighbors, have the ditch company. And the meadows has been the primary caregiver to the ditch. It's in bad repair farther up it comes from the Castle Creek. From Castle Creek is where we get our water. But they are sure, we maintain it as far as getting the leaves out in the fall, raking again in the spring, but they walk all the ditches and make sure that things are flowing. And we try to keep the dogs out of the irrigation ponds, which is always a challenge. And we love having the kids in the boats and popsicle sticks and everything else floating down. So it's fun around here. We also have another nice amenity is the concerts at the music tent practice, and people that have their windows open can usually hear parts of concerts as they're practicing. As you know, they're either outside or in their offices, and the music wafts through our sacred sage meadow. I love it. It's so nice. Yeah, I feel very fortunate. And to get to know all of you too, because that's another thing about the Physics Center is you really don't meet any of you unless you're here. You know, I mean, a few of you, those of you who have houses here, but generally, the physics community is tight within itself. So it's just great. It's really wonderful, and I mean, wonderful people and beautiful environment, and just a great opportunity to get to know people that really would be hard to interact with if I weren't, here.